Hope you enjoy being homeless, Dad, because I made sure you get nothing. That's what my own son said to me the day after we buried his mother. I'm Harold Stevens, 61 years old, and I never thought I'd live to see the day my boy would throw me out like yesterday's garbage. Let me back up and tell you how this whole mess started, because sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones you'd take a bullet for. The call came at 2:47 in the morning. Kevin's voice was shaking on the other end. "Dad, you need to get to the hospital. Mom's not responding." By the time I got there, they'd already moved Maggie to the ICU. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer, the doctor said. 6 months if we were lucky. My wife of 38 years, the woman who'd patched up my cuts from electrical work and never complained when I tracked mud through her clean kitchen, was dying. Kevin stood next to me in that sterile hallway, and I put my hand on his shoulder. "We'll get through this together, son." He nodded, but something in his eyes looked different. I figured it was shock. Maggie fought for 8 months, real fighter. That woman. She'd been a nurse for 30 years, so she knew what she was up against, but she never gave up hope. During those months, Kevin visited regularly, always asking about her condition, her medications, her treatment costs. I thought he was being a caring son. I should have known better. The funeral was nice. Kevin handled most of the arrangements while I dealt with the insurance paperwork and tried to hold myself together. At 61, I'd buried my parents and lost friends from the electrical union, but losing your wife feels like somebody ripped half your soul away. After the service, people came back to the house Kevin and I shared. It was the same house I'd helped him buy 5 years earlier when he was starting his real estate career. Back then, he was struggling with the down payment, so Maggie and I sold our little place and gave him the $45,000 he needed. "Just temporary, Dad," he'd said, "until you and Mom find something smaller." Somehow temporary became permanent, especially after Maggie got sick. But I didn't mind. Family takes care of family, right? The night after the funeral, I was sitting in my bedroom looking at old photos of Maggie when Kevin knocked on the door. His face had that same cold look I'd noticed at the hospital. "Dad, we need to talk." I followed him downstairs to the living room. He sat across from me like we were strangers instead of father and son. "I know this is hard," he said, "but I need to be direct about something. This house is in my name, and I need space to process Mom's death. Having you here isn't working anymore." The words hit me like a live wire. "Kevin, I understand you're grieving, but surely we can work something out. This is a big house." "No, Dad. I've thought about this, and I need you out by tomorrow evening. That should give you plenty of time to pack." I stared at him, looking for any sign of the boy I'd taught to wire outlets and change flat tires. That boy was gone. Where exactly am I supposed to go? Kevin shrugged like he was discussing the weather. "You're a grown man. You'll figure something out. Your pension and Social Security should cover a nice apartment somewhere." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was 24 hours after we'd buried his mother. "Kevin, your mother would be horrified by this conversation. Mom's dead, Dad, and the sooner you accept that things have changed, the better off we'll both be." I packed 40 years of my life into 6 boxes and 3 suitcases. As I loaded my truck, Kevin stood in the doorway watching, making sure I didn't take anything he considered his. When I turned to say goodbye, maybe try one more time to reach whatever was left of my son, he was already closing the door. I spent that first week at a Comfort Inn on Route 30, eating vending machine dinners and wondering where I'd gone wrong as a father. My union pension and Social Security gave me about $2,700 a month, enough for a modest apartment if I was careful. But the betrayal hurt worse than the money problems. 2 weeks later, my phone rang. "Mr. Stevens, this is Gregory Walsh from Walsh and Associates. I handled your wife's legal affairs." "Yes, Mr. Walsh. I remember you from when we updated our wills. I'm calling because the probate process is complete. There's a formal reading of Margaret's will scheduled for Tuesday at 200 and your attendance is required." Required? I sat up straighter in that cheap motel chair. "I'm sorry, but I think there might be some confusion." Kevin seemed to think everything was pretty straightforward. "Mr. Stevens, I can only tell you what Margaret's will specifies, and it specifically names you as a beneficiary. I'll see you Tuesday." After he hung up, I stared at my phone. Maggie had left me something. Probably her jewelry or maybe some family photos Kevin didn't want. It would be nice to have something of hers to remember her by. Tuesday came and I sat in the parking lot of Walsh and Associates, watching Kevin pull up in his BMW. He'd brought someone with him, a woman in an expensive suit who looked like another real estate agent. When I walked into the waiting room, Kevin's face darkened. "What's he doing here?" he asked the receptionist. "Mr. Stevens is here for the will reading," she replied professionally. Which Mr. Stevens? Kevin's voice had an edge to it. Both of you, apparently. The woman with Kevin whispered something in his ear, and he nodded curtly. We took seats across the room from each other, and I could feel his anger from 10 feet away. Mr. Walsh appeared right on time and led us into his office. He was about my age, silver-haired, with the kind of steady presence that comes from 30 years of handling family disputes. Gentlemen and Ms. Parker, he began, settling behind his desk. I know this is difficult, but Margaret was very specific about her wishes. I'll read the will in its entirety. The first part was exactly what I expected. Kevin got the house, his mother's car, and her life insurance policy. He nodded at each item, occasionally glancing at me with something that looked like satisfaction. Then Walsh's voice changed, and I knew something important was coming. However, there is one final provision that Margaret added 6 months ago. The room went dead quiet. Kevin stopped nodding and leaned forward, his real estate agent friend pulling out a notepad. Walsh cleared his throat and continued reading. To my husband, Harold Stevens, who provided the down payment for our son's home and has never asked for repayment, I leave the contents of Safety Deposit Box 247 at First National Bank, along with all associated documentation and account information contained therein. What safety deposit box? Kevin's voice cracked. Mom never mentioned a safety deposit box. Walsh looked up from the document. Apparently, your mother maintained it privately. She was quite specific that the contents should go to your father. I was as surprised as Kevin, but for different reasons. Maggie had never mentioned a safety deposit box to me either. What could she have put there? What's in it? The real estate woman asked. I have no idea, Walsh replied. Margaret simply provided the bank information and instructions that Mr. Harold Stevens should have full access upon her death. Kevin's face was flushed red. This is ridiculous. If there's anything of value in that box, it should be part of the estate. We need to contest this. You're free to try, Walsh said calmly. But the provision is clear, and Margaret was completely competent when she added it. I witnessed the document myself. When exactly did she add this? I asked. Walsh checked his notes. 6 months ago, she came in specifically to make this addition. 6 months ago, right after her diagnosis. I remembered that day because Maggie had seemed unusually determined about something, but she wouldn't tell me what. Kevin stood up abruptly. This is a waste of time. We're filing a challenge tomorrow. Actually, Walsh said, pulling out an envelope, before you leave, I have specific instructions from Margaret for Harold regarding the safety deposit box access. He handed me the envelope. These are the bank documents and her personal key. The bank will need to verify the death certificate and process paperwork. Usually takes about 3 business days. Kevin's eyes fixed on that envelope like a hawk watching prey. I'm coming with you to the bank. I'm afraid that's not possible, Walsh said. The safety deposit box access is restricted to Harold Stevens only. Bank policy. This is insane, Kevin sputtered. How do we even know there's anything valuable in there? I stood up, clutching the envelope. I guess we'll find out. In the parking lot, Kevin cornered me by my truck. Dad, let's be reasonable about this. Whatever's in that box, we should share it. Mom would have wanted me to benefit from anything she left behind. For the first time since Maggie's death, I almost smiled. You made it pretty clear. You don't think I deserve anything, now suddenly you're concerned about sharing. His mask slipped then, showing the calculation underneath. Don't forget, you're living in a motel. You need my goodwill more than I need yours. I looked at this stranger wearing my son's face. Actually, Kevin, I don't think I need anything from you. 3 days later, I stood in the vault at First National Bank with Sandra Martinez, the branch manager. She'd been expecting me. Box 247 is one of our larger units, she explained. Your wife rented it about 3 years ago and visited quite regularly. 3 years. Maggie had been planning something for 3 years. Sandra used her master key while I inserted Maggie's key, and the box slid out. It was heavy, about the size of a briefcase. Take all the time you need, Sandra said, showing me to a private room. I'll be at my desk when you're finished. Alone in that small room, I opened the box. The first thing I saw was a letter addressed to me in Maggie's handwriting. My dearest Harry, it began. If you're reading this, then I'm gone, and Kevin has probably shown you exactly who he really is. I'm sorry, but I'm not surprised. I've known for 3 years what kind of man our son became. My hands shook as I continued reading. You gave Kevin $45,000 for his house down payment. I know you thought of it as a loan, even though you never asked for repayment. I've been investing that money for the past 3 years, adding to it whenever possible. The money in these accounts isn't just repayment. It's what careful planning has grown into. I set the letter down and looked at the documents underneath. Bank statements, investment portfolios, account numbers. My eyes scanned the numbers, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. 210,000 in various investment accounts, all in my name. I picked up Maggie's letter again, hardly believing it. I also discovered that Kevin has been telling his real estate friends that you contribute nothing to our household. What he doesn't mention is that our mortgage has been paid automatically from his commissions, but any money you gave us for expenses went straight into investments for your future. The letter continued, I've been documenting everything, Harry. Every cruel comment, every lie he's told about you. It's all in the folder marked evidence. I thought you should know what kind of son we raised. I reached for the folder. Inside were printed emails, text screenshots, even photos of credit card statements. Evidence of years of manipulation. The final paragraph made my eyes fill with tears. You deserve so much better than the way he's treated you. Take this money and build a life where no one can make you feel unwanted. And Harry, don't tell Kevin about any of this until you're somewhere safe. Trust me on this. I sat in that room for an hour, reading through everything Maggie had left me. By the time I emerged, I had a clear picture of exactly what my son had become. That evening my phone rang. Dad? Kevin's voice was fake sweet. I was wondering if you'd like to come by for dinner tonight. Maybe we can talk about what you found in Mom's safety deposit box. I smiled at my reflection in the motel mirror. That's generous, Kevin. I'll be there at 600. It was time for my son to learn that his old man wasn't as helpless as he thought. I arrived at Kevin's house, my old house, at exactly 6 a row, carrying a manila folder and wearing my best poker face. He answered the door in an expensive shirt, all smiles and false warmth. Dad, so good to see you. I made your favorite pot roast. Funny how he remembered my favorite meal now that he wanted something. The dining room table was set with Maggie's good china. Kevin had clearly put effort into this performance. He poured beer and made small talk while I sat quietly, watching him work up to what he really wanted to discuss. So he finally said, I've been thinking about yesterday, about the safety deposit box, have you? I know we've had our differences, but Mom would want us to stick together during this difficult time. Family should support each other. Family. Rich, coming from the man who'd thrown me out the day after his mother's funeral. I couldn't agree more, I said evenly. Kevin's eyes lit up, thinking he'd found an opening. I'm so relieved to hear that. So about what Mom left you, maybe we could pool our resources. Combine whatever was in that box with the life insurance money. I know some great investment advisors. That's thoughtful, Kevin. But I'm curious. What makes you think there was anything valuable in Mom's safety deposit box? He paused, clearly not expecting the question. Well, Mom was always private about certain financial matters. She must have had a reason for keeping something separate. Private. That's an interesting word choice. You know what I mean. Women and their secret savings accounts. I set down my fork and looked directly at him. Actually, Kevin, I think your mother told me exactly what she wanted me to know. Something flickered in his eyes, uncertainty, maybe fear. What did you find in the box, Dad? I reached for the manila folder. I'd brought documents, mostly. Very interesting reading material. What kind of documents? Oh, financial records, investment statements, some correspondence. I paused. Quite a few printed emails and text messages. The color drained from Kevin's face. Your mother was quite thorough in her record-keeping, especially the last few years. I pulled out my phone and opened the photos Maggie had taken of Kevin's text conversations. Would you like to see one? This is from about 8 months ago. I turned the screen toward him, showing a screenshot of him texting a friend. Can't wait until the old man finally moves out. Then I can turn his room into the home office I've been wanting. Kevin reached for my phone, but I pulled it back. There are dozens more. Your mother was apparently very good at documentation. This next one is particularly interesting. You telling your real estate buddy how you convinced Mom that I should pay for groceries when you've been pocketing that money. Stop. Kevin's voice was barely a whisper. And then there's this email where you're laughing with Ms. Parker about how gullible I am, how easy it was to make me feel like a burden when you'd already planned to kick me out after Mom died. I set the phone down and looked at him calmly. That was forward thinking of you, planning my eviction while your mother was still alive. Kevin's composure finally cracked. She had no right to spy on private messages. Actually, she had every right. It was her house too. And you were discussing her husband. I leaned back. The question is, what are we going to do about this situation? What do you want? The mask was completely off now. Want? I don't want anything from you, Kevin. I never did. Then why are you doing this? I considered the question. You threw me out of my home the day after your mother's funeral. You told me I was worthless, that I'd contributed nothing to this household. I stood up slowly, but here's what you didn't understand about your mother. She saw everything, every cruel comment, every manipulation, every lie you told. Kevin was gripping the table edge, his knuckles white. And you want to know the beautiful part? She documented it all, not to hurt you, but to protect me. Because she knew that once she was gone, you'd show your true colors. You can't prove any of this would hold up in court. I laughed. Court? Kevin, I'm not taking you to court. He blinked, confused. You're not? Why would I? You've already given me everything I need. I pulled out the folder from Maggie's safety deposit box. Your mother left me more than just text screenshots. She left me 3 years of evidence showing exactly how you've been playing both of us. I opened the folder and placed a bank statement on the table. This shows that the house payments have been automatically deducted from your real estate commissions for the entire time I've lived here. Every penny I gave you for household expenses went straight into investments. Kevin stared at the papers like they might bite him. Credit card statements showing $12,000 in luxury purchases in the month before Mom died. All while you told her we needed to cut back on her medication costs. His breathing became shallow. Mom saved all of that. Your mother documented everything, including copies of emails you sent to friends, calling me a freeloader and joking about how easy it was to manipulate her into thinking I was a financial drain. That hit home. Kevin flinched like I'd slapped him. Want to know what I found most interesting? I continued, opening another document. This email chain where you and Ms. Parker discussed long-term plans to have me declared incompetent so you could access my pension and Social Security. That's not. We never actually. No, you never followed through. Know why? Because your mother figured out what you were planning and took steps to protect me. Kevin's eyes widened. What steps, you said? I don't have anything worth protecting, didn't you? I smiled. That's interesting because according to these investment statements, I apparently have quite a bit worth protecting. I pulled out my phone and opened the banking app Sandra had helped me set up. The account balance filled the screen and I turned it toward Kevin, $210,000. Kevin's face went white. He grabbed the table edge to steady himself. That's impossible. You're living in a motel. I'm living in a motel because I choose to while I figure out my next move, not because I can't afford better. The silence stretched between us as Kevin processed this information. How much? He finally whispered. I closed the folder and stood up. That's really none of your business, is it? I'm your son. I have a right to know. You had a right to know what your mother left you, which was quite generous. The house, her car, the life insurance. I'd say you made out well. Kevin shot to his feet. You manipulative old bastard. You're trying to steal what's mine. Steal. I raised an eyebrow. How exactly would I be stealing anything? Everything I have was given to me by my wife, who had every legal right to dispose of her assets as she saw fit. She was my mother. Yes, she was. And apparently she knew exactly what kind of son you were. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Kevin's face was red with anger and something that looked like panic. I'm warning you. You're warning me. I laughed again, feeling oddly free. Kevin, you threw me out of my home. You humiliated me after your mother's funeral. You made it clear you consider me worthless. What exactly do you think you can threaten me with now? Kevin stared at me for a long moment and I could see him trying to recalibrate. The threats weren't working, so he switched tactics. Dad, please, let's be reasonable about this. His voice took on a pleading tone. I know I've been difficult since Mom died. I was grieving. I wasn't thinking clearly. But we're family. We should work together. Family, I repeated. Yes. You mentioned that before. Right after you told me to enjoy being homeless. I didn't mean that. I was upset. I said things I didn't mean. Oh, but you did mean them. That's what makes your mother's documentation so valuable. She saved you saying the same things multiple times to multiple people over years. Kevin's mask slipped again. What do you want from me? An apology. Fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry I asked you to leave. Now, can we please discuss this money situation like adults? There's nothing to discuss. Of course there is. If Mom left you that much money, we need to plan how to manage it responsibly. You mean you need to plan how to spend it? I picked up my folder. Kevin, let me be clear about something. The money your mother left me isn't some inheritance that fell in my lap. It's the return on the $45,000 I gave you for this house, plus 3 years of careful investment. His mouth fell open. You think that was a loan? I know it was a loan. Your mother never forgot that, even if you convinced yourself it was a gift. Kevin's mind was racing. If I'd invested $45,000 3 years ago and Maggie had been growing it. But that's almost as much as the life insurance, he said. Yes, it is. That money should be split between us. Based on what legal principle? Based on the fact that I'm your son and you're just my father. The casual cruelty in those words hit me hard. But instead of pain, I felt clarity. You know what, Kevin? You're absolutely right. I'm just your father. The man who raised you, taught you right from wrong, and gave you the down payment for this house where you threw me out like garbage. I headed toward the door, and apparently that was enough for your mother to make sure I'd never have to depend on anyone's charity again. Wait, Kevin called as I reached the door. Dad, wait. We can work this out. Please, just sit down. I paused and turned back. What exactly do you think we need to work out? Everything. Our relationship, the money situation, everything. He was talking fast now, panic making his voice tight. Look, I know I made mistakes. I was stressed about Mom's death, worried about finances, but we can fix this. I'm sure you were worried about finances, I said quietly, but not for the reasons you're claiming. I pulled out one more document from Maggie's folder. Your mother also documented your spending habits, including the $15,000 you charged to credit cards in the month before she died. Kevin's face went gray. Expensive dinners, a weekend in Atlantic City, new furniture for the house, all while telling her you were worried about money for her prescriptions. That's not. I wasn't. You weren't what? Planning to live off her life insurance while throwing out the inconvenient father who might ask questions. Kevin collapsed into his chair, the fight going out of him. You don't understand the pressure I was under. What pressure? Everyone expected me to be successful. The other agents, my clients, Mom's medical team. Do you know how expensive it is to maintain the right image? I looked at him sitting there in his expensive shirt in his beautiful house, surrounded by luxury, complaining about pressure. No, Kevin, I don't. Because I was too busy taking care of your mother while you were busy spending her money. I loved Mom. You loved what Mom could do for you. There's a difference. He was crying now, ugly tears that ruined his perfect appearance. I can't lose everything. I can't go back to being nobody. You're not nobody, Kevin. You're a successful real estate agent with a $500,000 house, a $200,000 life insurance payout, and your mother's car. You're set for life if you manage it right, but it's not enough for the life I planned. Then maybe you planned the wrong life. I walked to the door one last time. Kevin didn't try to stop me with words. Instead, there was a soft sound behind me. I turned to see him slumped forward, face in his hands, breathing shallow. Complete defeat. The moment when someone realizes they've lost everything they thought they were entitled to, and no amount of manipulation can get it back. I can't, he whispered. I can't lose everything. You're not losing everything, Kevin. You're losing the things that never belonged to you in the first place. I left him there in his expensive dining room and walked out into the evening air of my new beginning. 6 months later, I'm settled into a nice little condo near some other retired union guys. Kevin and I don't talk anymore, which is probably for the best. Sometimes I drive by the old house and see him working in the yard, looking older than his 35 years. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's justice served exactly when it's needed most. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, it comes with the knowledge that the person you loved most understood exactly what you needed to survive. Maggie had taken care of me after all, just like she'd promised she always would. Even from the grave, my wife had kept her word. Listen, if you're out there dealing with family betrayal or ungrateful kids who think they're entitled to what you've worked for, let me tell you something. Document everything. Trust your instincts, and remember that the people who really love you will protect you, even when they can't be there to do it in person. Don't let anyone make you feel like a burden for the life you've built. You earned your dignity, and you deserve to keep it. Thanks for listening, and remember, your voice matters too.